What's up, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode. I'm your host, Christian Fowler, and joining me, as always, is former Memphis Tigers offensive lineman Gabe Kuhn. And Gabe, today we are breaking down an interesting game, a 30-28 loss to Temple. Obviously, some controversy ensued in this game, and we will get to that. But right off the jump, Gabe, a few takeaways from Saturday's game.
First loss of the season. We got to take care of the ball a lot better. 4 turnovers is unacceptable. I don't care who you are. Defensively, they held up really well. Again, we've talked about all year holding people to 3 instead of 6 or 7, and they did that. They could have been in the first half with those 3 turnovers in a way worse position, but instead they were down 16-0. We're able to battle back and showed a little bit of heart.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. The defense has gotten slandered a little bit in the past couple weeks. I've seen so many tweets with people saying we need our week 1, 2, and 3 defense back. And honestly, when you turn the ball over 4 times, if you look at the game, the defense was playing on short fields all game, which if you ask any defensive player in college football or football in general, if you're having to play like that all game, it's very difficult. And they held their own, like you said. They forced field goals. It's 16-0. It could have been 32-0.
Yeah, 28-0. They had 3 extra possessions. And people talking about the week 1, week 2, week 3 off defense. The week 1 defense held Ole Miss to -2 yards rushing in the first half. That doesn't happen.
Right.
Okay, that's something that you can't get used to because I don't think the elite teams, the elite defenses in the country can consistently do that. Yeah, not a good way.
Not a good way to start,
man.
All.
RPO here, RPO action. And what Temple was going to do, they're not going to let number 19 make plays. They didn't want to. Obviously, he still did. Well, we'll get to that. But he pulls it. He realizes that they have a trigger man. And I don't really get this. This is a miscommunication. It looks like Damonte Coxie was looking for a hitch. It didn't work out. But you got to understand, with this guy Harrison Hand, he's a talented player. He's leading their team in interceptions, tackles. And he's not going to let number 10 beat him deep.
And look at his eye. I mean, he's looking dead at Brady White. He knows the ball's coming right now while Damonte Coxie's head is turned. And like you pointed to at the top, he was looking for a hitch. Damonte was. Mm-hmm. And if he stays there, Brady throws the hitch, it's 5 yards. He gets down, no harm, no foul.
Easy money. But this is something you cannot make a mistake trying to do your own thing. He thinks that Damonte is going to be able to beat him deep, and it just can't happen that quick. Nothing can happen that quick. I think what Coxie was thinking is go block him. Right. Maybe he's coming for the run, but this is just a bad miscommunication early in the game, and we talked about this. If you're going to make mistakes against this Temple team, they will take advantage to a certain extent. I don't think they took advantage as much as they should have.
They didn't as much as we thought they were going to when we were talking about it on the show last week, but they got 16 points off turnovers or 13 points off turnovers. They made them pay.
But again, 3 extra possessions in the first half. Usually as a team, you're looking to turn that into touchdowns, not field goals. And they got 1 touchdown, 3 field goals. And it ended up being all right for the Tigers.
And as you just foreshadowed, Kenneth Gainwell, in my opinion, had his best game as a Tiger. It wasn't his best statistical game. It was close, but it wasn't his best statistical game. But, I mean, he made everybody miss, and it started early in the game.
You know what is absolutely electrifying about this kid is he makes a huge chunk play out of absolutely nothing. Left side of the line, Dylan Parham usually does a great job, but he gets kind of whooped. Yeah. I mean, just truthfully, he would probably tell you that. And Kenny sees this front side, reads it, and he's like, okay, let me cut all the way back, use my blockers, and let me not go down at the first contact right here.
Brady White threw a block.
Yeah, he did. And Kenny worked off of it. But this first contact, what I want to point out here is the lower body strength. Look at his legs just keep churning. That is elite right there. I mean, truthfully.
Does the first man ever get Kenneth Gainwell?
No, and then just the ability to keep those legs churning and just that is so strong. That is something that it surprised me. I knew the speed was there. I knew the ability was there, but just the strength he has at this young of an age is crazy.
And I promised that we weren't going to slander Brady White all year.
You can't keep your promises all the time, man.
And just so everybody knows, as they're sitting through this, you're not going to have to watch all 4 turnovers. I think this is the second one. This is the only 2 that I put on there.
And truthfully, you could put all 4 on him. I think 4 of them were mostly his fault. I mean, just truthfully, everybody has a bad game. Other than that, though, he had his moments in this game that were some of his best plays.
Right.
And it's very interesting, just the Jekyll and Hyde with him. He needs to get to the point where he's not making those mistakes.
And this one is, I mean, I think
fault to be spread around.
Obina absolutely whiffs. If you watch, he misses the block
right here at left tackle.
He just kind of works outside of him. Brady steps up, and as he's trying to step up, that ball gets loose. He has it high right now. If he keeps it high and keeps two hands on it, he more than likely doesn't fumble, and it's just a sack.
It's just the loosey-goose with the ball with the one hand. You can't do that, especially with a guy coming off the edge. Obviously, this left tackle, Obina, wants to get more on him. But this is honestly, if we're being real, this is a very good move. And sometimes when you have good on good, the other team's going to make a play. And this is exactly what 42 did here. Swipes the hands, get around, and got the ball out. Now this was scary. I thought they were going to return.
I thought this was a touchdown, no doubt.
Good job by Joe. And this right here is more important than a lot of plays in the game, because you know what this does? This limits them to a field goal instead of a touchdown when they're already up 10-0.
Yeah, it's at this point, because of Joey Magnifico just playing down the field, it's 13 instead of 17. So that's a big play.
Those are the plays that come back, and that's why you win or lose games. Right there, the little things.
And this is you just mentioned Jekyll and Hyde situation with Brady White, and this is perfectly summed up. Now, they don't score on this drive, because I think this is actually the drive where Brady fumbles again on the mesh point with Rodriguez-Clark. But this is 3rd and 8. Brady made big throws on 3rd down all game. You said this was his best throw of the game. I definitely think it was up there, because I mean, we get so caught up with Brady White hearing that he can't throw the ball down the field, and every week when we do this, it's like he makes good throws down the field, and that's perfect. Kedarian Jones ran a great route, beat the corner 1-on-1, and Brady made a great throw.
Definitely want to run this from the top. Good protection. He slides to the left here in the pocket. And this is a strike. This is one of the best balls I think I've seen him throw. It's got zip on it. It's got some touch. He drove all the way through his front leg, and it gets there right on target. And I this Jekyll and Hyde thing is something that I know a lot of Tiger fans want to see stop, but I feel like this is something that might be recurring. I want to see these plays happen, though, more than we see the turnovers.
Absolutely. And then we spoke about the defense a little bit and how they had a big game, and I don't think anybody had a better game than Sanchez Blake.
Leading tackler.
11 tackles, I believe, in this game. He's a linebacker playing. Look at that. I mean, that is a linebacker playing safety.
So they were bringing a delayed safety blitz here. Obviously, they bring J.J. Russell right here in the middle of the defense here. But then the thing is, if you're going to undercut an outside zone like this is the sort of scheme they're running. If you're going to undercut, you better make the play.
You got to make the play.
And the speed he shows here and the closing ability and tackling ability is just amazing, and that's why he has been sort of a focal point of this new and improved Adam Fuller defense.
Absolutely. And when he gets his coverage skills all the way down, because I think he's still working on that, I don't think he's as great in coverage as he is as a tackler, but when he gets there, I really do think Sanchez can be a special player on this defense.
And Sanchez is a guy who came in, I was there the first year that he showed up, and he's a big hitter. That's what he likes to do. He likes to play and run support, and that's what we've seen this year. And I think Adam Fuller's done a good job of showing that and proving that he is that type of player and not making him go outside of his comfort zone.
Right. And this play right here, in my opinion, this is what kickstarted the offense. We already showed the big pass play to Kedarian Jones. And like I mentioned, they didn't score on that drive. But when you look at this play, this is just play design, because we know what Joey can do down the seam. I still don't think he's used enough down the seam, but when he is, good things happen and the offense rolls, and that's what happens right here.
And among other things, obviously the play action does a really good job of bringing these linebackers up. They're bringing a blitz here from the boundary. They have this safety here, and this linebacker in the middle will come. But among other things I want to show is this linebacker right here inside of the hash is going to step up with the action. You have a puller and the play fake, and he gets sucked up, and look at Joey just runs right by him. Right. This is just good play design and a good job.
And the safety also sucks up right there. Number 25 sucked up, which allowed Joey to get past him, because I don't think if he sits back in coverage, watch number 25, the safety outside the hash, sucks up right there. If he stays back in coverage, I don't think that's as big of a play, but that's what play action and play design does, is it gets guys open like that.
And then Joey has done a really good job of running through arm tackles and getting extra yardage after the catch.
Yeah.
And that's good to see.
Then back to Kenny Gainwell.
Well, of course. You can't hold him down for too long.
And this is, I mean, he shows us every week that he has more and more stuff in his bag, because he pulled that spin out of nowhere.
He never gets hit hard, man.
Never.
I mean, okay, let me knock on wood a little bit. Obviously, I think his ability to make people miss is elite. But he never really seems to take big blows. Right here, offensive line-wise, this is the first time this year, and we talked about differentiating the run schemes the past couple weeks, but this is a straight-up power scheme. We haven't seen that. This is something we haven't seen. You pull around the right guard, he gets up on the linebacker, and look at that. Makes a lane, makes a guy miss, and then gets the first down. That's just what we've come used to through these first 6 games with Kenny Gainwell.
Absolutely. And you see Dylan Parham there has a great block and allows that seal at the top of the screen playing left guard and just kind of opens it up for Kenny and lets him do the rest. And that safety did not want any part of that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, this is okay. The throw we saw to Kedarian down the sideline was a very good throw, but this is the best play he made all game, Brady, I'm talking about. You have an RPO.
This is what the RPO looks like when it works.
Yes, exactly. They make him pull it. They play 19, and then he gets out here on the edge, and he realizes, okay, I have number 10, my best receiver.
One-on-one.
He's 6'4", 210 pounds on this guy up at the top of the screen. I don't care who he is. The size matchup gives you Damonte Coxie on the top of the screen. And look, just beautiful back shoulder ball. Where it needs to be.
Yeah, all you can do right there is put it on the back shoulder, put it where only your guy can get it, and that's exactly what Brady does.
But you'll notice here, among other things, is Temple was doing this about all day. You'll see about one time that they did not play number 19.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are crashing and crashing and crashing and saying, okay, Brady, we need you to beat us if you're going to beat us.
Yeah, that was the whole game plan.
Brady look at the placement right here. Look at the placement right here on the front pylon. That's how you draw it up. That is absolutely a perfect throw.
Can't say anything else about that one. That's just good play design.
We don't have any other turnovers on this.
No.
No, I think we do. No, okay, well, we'll see.
I'm just gonna stop talking about Kenny Gainwell. I mean, this kid is ridiculous.
Draw scheme here. Draw scheme. This is something they haven't really showed. Dustin Woodard's done a really good job all year, but to be able to snap and take a nose guard and drive him not 1, not 2, but 3, 4, 5 yards off the ball and give your guy.
You're not tackling him. You're just not tackling him.
And look at this right here. Like I said, this guy wanted to put an absolute lick on Kenny Gainwell. Nope. Yet.
He just
spins
absorbs
right
it, man.
off of it.
He just absorbs contact and makes plays. It's incredible. It's a redshirt freshman. If he was a junior, had been in the system for a few years, had played a little bit, this wouldn't be as shocking. But this dude played in 4 games last year, barely got any carries, and he's one of the best running backs in the country right now.
We're talking about replacing, just especially in this Memphis program, generational talents in Tony Pollard and Darrell Henderson, and he has done, if not equal, better than what those guys have done. He is second in the nation in scrimmage yards at this point in the season. And he is 6th on the rushing list. And he has, not even close to the same ballpark of carries as the other guys on that list.
Not even close. And like you mentioned, I haven't heard anybody mention that Memphis needs Darrell Henderson or Tony Pollard.
No one's missing them right now, honestly.
Nobody says anything because this kid's incredible. And same thing. This right here is Mike Norvell literally telling Temple's defense that Kenny Gainwell is better than everybody on the field.
We're going to give him the ball, dudes. You can do all you want to stop him and try to hold him down. He's going to get his.
Yeah.
So right here, this is a screenplay right here. They do a little slow leak. I like this play design right here. You try to clear out with all these guys, and they pin all of these 1, 2, 3 defenders inside, and you bring the interior of the O-line, the 2 guards, and the center out to get this corner. And anything over top. This is just a great play design, a great timely call. Obviously, we'd like to get more on this guy who almost makes the play. Obviously, Kedarian Jones needs to trigger a little quicker. But obviously, with Kenny Gainwell, he's going to make that guy miss.
Yeah, because you look right here, there's 3 defenders with shots at him. And he's too fast, he's too quick, and he just makes the play. That's a huge
and
play,
also,
too.
the confidence to go with a screenplay, 3rd and 11 at the 50.
Down by 9.
And knowing you're going to get it, that's something that you do not get. You just don't get. I mean, it's just something that doesn't happen. Here, Kylan Watkins coming in. Good job. Good lane here.
It's been a good 1-2 punch. Kylan Watkins, first off, he's not as dynamic as Kenny Gainwell. He can't make people miss like Kenny Gainwell.
But he's young.
But he's still young. And he's been a heck of a 1-2 punch with him. He's given Kenny Gainwell rest, and he makes plays every time he gets in the game.
This right here, I have to give it up to the right guard, Manny Arona. He does a really good job of sealing this 3-tech off. This 3 technique, he plays on the outside shoulder of Manny, and he seals him off and gives Kylan Watkins an easy lane. Number 3 is out of the play, takes himself out, gets there last second. Too late.
Yep.
Too late. You'll see it way better from this view.
Yeah, you got combos on both sides with Scotty and Manny, and then with Dylan and Dustin over there, and they just open it.
Yeah, right. This seal right here by Manny Arona on number 6 is what makes this play. 3 folds to the side, and 6 can't play into this A-gap like he wants to.
Right.
And that's where you see lanes open up. This O-line, with so much turnover, has done a phenomenal job of keeping this run game alive.
Absolutely. It's got you excited, huh?
Oh, my God.
Because we were skeptical going into the season.
I was. I knew that the interior was going to be shored up, and I think we've seen that. But these 2 tackles have actually stepped in and been a little better than advertised.
Right.
And that's all you needed to see.
And Manny, after the penalty-riddled first game against Ole Miss,
he is coming to his own.
Has been really solid.
Absolutely. And this is
a huge play. To me, I think this is roll it a little bit. This is 5 minutes left in the third quarter. I still think if Memphis gets this, they win the game. I think this is the one of few plays in the second half where Temple got a little bit of momentum. I love the call. Go for it. I mean, you backs against the wall.
I like the go for it call.
I don't like what they did. I think you got to get the ball outside here because I think Temple is too good up front for this. I think you got to get the ball outside here. I almost want to say play action, but I think you just have to get the ball in Kenny's hands. So I don't love the play call, but I do love the fact that they go for it here.
So every time they get into 22 personnel, for people that don't know what that is, the first number means how many tight ends you have, and the second number means how many tailbacks you have. Right here, you have 2 tight ends, 2 tailbacks. And you'll see what they love to run out of this 22 personnel is G-lead. Every single time they've done a couple things off of it. They've thrown some play action passes, some wrinkles into it, but they don't here. And
you see the graphic at the bottom of the screen before we move on. 7 of 10 on 4th down. So he's not.
He's confident.
He's not scared to go for it. I just don't love the play call.
I think this is very predictable. Just truthfully, you have everybody. You have 10 guys in the box. You have 3. Look at these linebackers, how close they're playing together.
They know it's coming inside.
But I have to be honest. They almost get this. The Tigers almost get this. Dylan gets a decent seal on the outside, although they know the play's coming.
Right.
But I have to be real. Number 88, Afeni Maije right here. He's their leading sack getter. He's their leading tackle for loss guy for Temple. He slants inside onto Dustin Woodard, and then he redirects right back out and stops him before the line to gain. That's just a good play.
Yeah, if he's not there, Kenny falls forward. It's first down.
That's what I'm saying. This play almost works, but at the same time, when you do something as predictable as this play has been for the Tigers, you got to expect some results like that.
Yeah, you allow players to make plays when you become predictable. And from everything we've seen from Dustin, that's not an easy block for Dustin at all. That reach block is not easy. If he gets a little bit more there, I think that's a first down. But it's obviously a great play. I mean, he made an incredible play on the ball.
Just the redirect and to be able to get out here and stop the momentum is just a good job by him. And you got to give your hats off. They're good too.
Yeah.
Sometimes the defense just makes plays more than the offense. And
Absolutely.
That's what you saw right there. And this, speaking of what defense making more plays than the offense, this is awesome.
I think this is the difference in the defense between this year and last year. We've talked about it a lot, flying to the ball and trying to make plays when you get there, not just making the tackle, and TJ Carter does exactly that here. I think it's a great play design from Temple because obviously Memphis was not expecting this.
Yeah, but to stay at home to a certain extent by TJ Carter, and the thing is, you're throwing it to a quarterback.
Right.
And he realizes it immediately. He doesn't even go for the tackle, really. Okay, he gets a little juked. Okay, they get somebody on him, and immediately he goes straight for the ball because he knows that this guy is not used to this position.
Yeah.
And taking licks like that. And also, I don't know why this guy was in. I think that Temple made some weird decisions down the stretch.
It worked in the first half.
When you look at what Anthony Russo was able to do that defense, it just didn't make sense. But anyways, thank you. Thanks for giving us the strip here. Good job by TJ to get it out.
Yeah,
that made a huge difference in this game too.
That could almost be the difference in the game because those are the type of plays that do win you games. You see that quarterback wanting to. He was looking at TJ the whole way. TJ makes a great play on the ball, and I think that's what your defensive playmaker should do when your back's against the wall. They go out there and make plays.
Mm-hmm. Right here.
This is what we've been pointing at. This is what we've been pointing at.
My guy's good. your guy is not as good.
Right.
Okay, so again, 6'4", 210 pounds. You have 2 high safeties. I'll give them credit for that. But this guy is cheated in the middle of the field.
Right.
Him making a play over top on Damonte Coxie right here it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's weird that they're kind of playing to the short side of the field on that.
That's what I was thinking too.
I get it because you do have 2 receivers over there and a running back, but still, it's weird. It's weird.
But when you think about it, this is the receiver that you should.
That's where you're going. Yeah.
So immediately, I think Brady White sees pre-snap. Okay, if this guy right here on the hash doesn't trigger down here to the bottom of the screen, I'm throwing it. Yeah, I'm throwing it full way. You'll see. Moves the safety with his eyes. Actually, he holds the safety with his eyes, which is something very underrated about this play. Holds the safety in the middle of the field with his eyes and then throws it over top. My guy's better than your guy.
And that's a good throw. It's a good throw. And it's a third down. I mean, these are clutch plays. That is a 3rd and 10, down by 2, right before the third quarter ends. He makes a good throw. Corner got away with a little bit of a hold there. It looked like.
It almost seems like Coxie knows where the cameras are, man.
He always knows. He always
shoulder
knows.
shrug right there.
Always knows.
All right. There's going to be another one to Joey here that I know you guys have been waiting for, okay? But this is not it.
We just talked about this a minute ago with Joey Magnifico going down the seams. It is so important to utilize him. It is so important.
It provides a spark for the offense. Every time they get the ball to Joey, it seems like the offense rolls better on that drive and it turns into a TD.
You know why? Because watch what he does after he makes his catch. This is what teammates love to see. He's not going down.
No.
He is fighting for every yard. He fumbled a couple weeks ago doing it. So you notice what he does there? He wraps up the ball with both hands. And he's running through the entire defense.
But this is actually a different type of RPO, and I really like it because it's hard for this linebacker right here to make a decision what he has to do. He sees this coming downhill. He sees all these gashes. Like Kylan Watkins, he gets the ball here. He might get 3, 4, 5 yards. You have to make that tackle if you're this linebacker, but he gets sucked up by it, and Joey sneaks right behind him. And that's something that I want to see them keep utilizing because when you put linebackers in a bind like this, it becomes really hard to play defense.
Absolutely. And then at that point it's like, well, who do we cover at this point? We got Kenneth Gainwell, we got Damonte Coxie, Antonio Gibson's been a playmaker over the past few weeks, and now we got this tight end leaking out down the seam, and we can't tackle him, we can't cover him. So it's huge to use him.
And you'll see number 3 right here, this linebacker I was referring to, in just absolute no man's land. Like, what do? What I want to tackle number 17. I have to guard the tight end, and he can't do both. So Brady White makes him incorrect, I should say. Yeah,
it's just I think we'll see it more. I think
and this is one of Joey's best games to date. So I think this is going to be something they're going to try to utilize down the stretch.
Absolutely,
sure tackler.
We've talked about defense. We've talked about it being different. And it's weird. It's weird to say this, what I'm about to say, but I don't think Memphis' defense makes this play last season.
No.
Same cast of characters. It's the same team. It's just a different mindset. I mean, Ramon Davis is a huge bowling ball of a running back.
These linemen aren't small.
They
recruit pretty well over there at Temple. And what they do here is they try to go to a stretch play. Good job by Thomas Pickens, I have to say, is making this he doesn't even string it. He makes it hit inside where all his players are, and he tries to string it out last second. We get J.J. Russell trying to make the tackle, but he slows him up just enough for Austin Hall to come make this play. And I thought watching this live that he was going to fall forward
all day. Yeah,
but I don't know what Austin did to get him to fall backwards like this, but
it worked.
So be it, man.
I think stop it. There's a couple things I want to point out here. I don't know which one's gonna happen first. I'm just gonna say them both. First off, J.J. Russell gets held. If you watch his jersey, he gets held. But Austin Hall also does a great job of getting off of that block, because if he gets a little bit more of him, he doesn't make that play.
This is the thing with a stretch play like this, and you have these offensive linemen. They're trying to get to the outside shoulder of here. J.J. Russell 23 and Austin Hall 25. They're trying to get to the outside play side shoulder, and they can't.
You want to know why that lineman doesn't get to Austin Hall? Because Morris Joseph has been a monster this year, somebody that we've talked about a lot, and he gets just enough of them where he can't get out there.
I still don't know how he did. Oh, he got both feet under him. He sort of tripped him. I don't know how he did that, though. That is just a really timely play. Really good job. Oh, God.
Here we go.
Before I start here, I want to say the 4 turnovers got you to this point.
Right.
You were down by 2. You're going down to drive. You're trying to get a field goal to win the game, And in all actuality, in all honesty, I think the refs ripped it away from the Tigers. And I don't think there's any other way of putting it.
It's tough. Man, this is going to haunt Memphis fans.
It will. It will. And there's been other calls that have haunted Memphis fans just like this. And I can see the anger, the hostility toward the conference officials more than anything. I don't get the hostility toward the conference.
Yeah.
I don't think the conference is actively plotting against the Tigers, for those wondering. But I do think with this play, obviously this is what the angle that they called it off.
Yes.
I personally, I don't think it's conclusive. I think if you call it an incompletion, it should stay an incompletion.
Absolutely.
I think if you call it a catch, it should stay a catch. And they called it a catch on the field. I don't understand. I think they were robbed. They saw it move around a little bit.
I think if you first off, I think Brady did a great job because that Maja again in the backfield. Yep. Maja just absolutely wreaked havoc on that play. But you see it bounce between his legs right there at the end. I think that's when they saw that bounce and they put those angles kind of together and they're like, okay, did it hit the ground? I saw it bounce because
right here, this is where you're like, okay, he caught it.
Yeah,
he got his hands under.
This angle, yeah,
he got his hands under. You can't see the ball.
Right.
You can't see the ball here. But the other angle is the one I wish they wouldn't have overturned this because I think this is the most ridiculous overturn that I've seen in a long time. But I can somewhat see what they were seeing. Right. I'm not saying that they made the right call by any stretch. I don't think it was conclusive enough, but I get the idea of what they were looking at because right here you'll see it looks like there's a little bit of ball poking out there.
Right.
And then when it hits the ground, supposedly quote unquote hits the ground, it bounces up.
It's just like you said, though. I mean, whatever is called on the field has to stand. If they call that incomplete on the field, I'm not pissed if they keep that. But if the fact that they called it.
This is the view that
they use from Lincoln Financial Field,
and this is probably the most damning evidence. And I still don't think it's conclusive. And when you're talking about the definition of what it has to be, it has to be conclusive evidence. And this isn't.
Without a shadow of a doubt, those referees have to be able to say that and that's what they say right there because the ball moves and
you didn't actually see the ball hit the ground. You just saw the ball move.
Right.
I don't think in any circumstance that you reverse that.
No, I'm completely with you there. Just from
it's maddening. It really is.
It's aggravating, and I understand why Memphis fans were so aggravated over it because this team fought so hard to get back into the game. They go down 16-0. They go down 23-14 at half, I believe, 28-30. If that stands, they have the ball on the 30-yard line with 1:48 seconds left, I believe. And you said field goal. I think Mike Norvell is going to score a touchdown.
Yeah,
that's just at that point. You've been down in the game. You're about to potentially win a game that you should not because of the mistakes that you've made.
That's the thing.
I think you've got to go put a touchdown on the board. I think with the way their offense was playing, I know that was a 4th and 9, but with the way the offense had been playing in the second half, at the end of the first half, I just think that's a game Memphis wins. Obviously, we cannot say. I mean, Temple played a hell of a ball game as well, so not trying to take anything away from them, but Memphis outplayed them for the majority
of the second half.
Not even more than the second half.
Three quarters.
Yeah, because if you take away the three turnovers in the first quarter,
first half.
And then obviously the late fumble from Brady as well. But if you take that away, Memphis wins this football game.
And that's what happens when you leave games up to doubt. You can't leave it in the referees or the officials' hands because that's what'll happen.
Yep. If you end up doing that, you end up losing football games. But fortunately, Gabe, the season's not over.
No, hell no. And the thing is, you talk about this, they're still in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
of the AAC West. Yeah, they're right there.
They're 5-1. SMU leads the conference at 6-0. I think Tulane's ahead of them as well.
But they play both of them.
Yeah, because the conference record, they play both of those teams. SMU and Temple play this week, so one of those teams has to lose. So everything's still right in front of you.
Right, exactly.
You lost a tough game on the road to a good football team, and that's okay. That happens. Now you got to go win against a team that whooped your butt last year.
Yep.
In a big game.
This one's been circled all year.
Absolutely. And Tulane is not the team that they've been in the past.
No.
For the past few years, especially when you were playing, Tulane was one of those games.
It's kind of a joke. But, I mean, at the same time, they were still always hard-nosed. They had a good defense, and I think they still have that. I just think their offense is ept. I think Willie Fritz has finally turned the corner with that program, and that's what you're seeing with Justin McMillan. Corey Dauphine has been there forever. That's their running back. But I think you're finally seeing Willie Fritz and that Tulane team turn the corner.
Absolutely, and you pointed to what I think is the key of the game. That's Justin McMillan.
Yep.
He actually came in against Memphis last year for one play, threw a 51-yard touchdown, and after that he started every game since.
Yep.
They played Cincinnati the following week. He started every game since. I believe he is 10-2 as a starter at Tulane. So
LSU bounced back. LSU transfer.
Former LSU Tiger Justin McMillan. He's not a terrific thrower. There's nothing extremely special throwing the ball. I think he's good throwing the ball. I don't think he's anything incredible, but it's his feet that make him special, and that's what's going to be the question this week. If Memphis can slow him down running the football, I think they will be fine. As you pointed to, Corey Dolphine is a heck of a running back. They've got a good group of receivers in Darnell Mooney and Jalen McCleskey, who made Memphis pay last year.
They're athletic and strong on the outside.
Absolutely.
What they do on the edges is absolutely scary. I will say that much. But if the Tigers can stop the run inside the tackles like they have been doing, I think it will be fine. I think they're back in the Liberty Bowl. They're going to have at least some kind of juice coming back. They play good at home, and that's what they're going to aim to do, and I think they can do it.
So, Gabe, as a former player, obviously when you lose a tough game on the road like they did, what is it like to come back home? Because I'm sure at this point they're on a 2-game road stretch. I can't imagine how excited this team is to come home at this point.
You can't lose to Temple twice. I know it would rip their heart out. It was terrible. It was something that you can't control at the end of that game, but you can't let them beat you twice. I think they're going to come home with a different confidence, a different swagger. Sometimes you have to lose to gain some more juice, a little more confidence going down the stretch, and I hope that's what this loss did to them. It's an awakening, and I think they'll be good.
So, last question before we get out of here. In a game like this, because there's so many factors right now, even at this point in the season, at the halfway point, a little over the halfway point this week, you're coming off of that loss. You're coming off that bad call. You look back to last year, and I don't care what anybody says, it's a revenge game. Memphis was embarrassed.
And it ain't raining.
No.
It ain't raining. So I think Brady White will be able to play a factor this year. And I think last year he made some mistakes. Obviously, it was his first year playing, and the rain was not helpful. But I think he's going to come back, especially after a 4-turnover game, and make sure that he does not replicate what he did last time.
Well, Gabe, with that being said, let's get out of here. I feel like we've covered it all. I feel like Memphis fans can move on.
Yeah, let's move on. All right.
It's time to move on from
no more
Temple
petitions.
loss.
No more petitions.
Yeah, no more getting pissed at the conference unless it happens again.
Get mad at the officials, the conference. We don't need to hate on the conference.
But with that being said, make sure to head over to GoTigers247.com. Check out everything we've got going on over there. Check out Gabe Kuhn's podcast. We plugged this a little bit last week, the TKT podcast. Gabe and his brother Alex do weekly. It comes out on Wednesdays every week, so make sure to check that out. Gabe, you got anything else?
No, man. We're all good.
All right. Well, with that being said, make sure to check back next week. We'll be breaking down the Tulane game. Hopefully a win coming off that loss. But with that, I got nothing else. Let's get out of here.